Hello everyone, and thank you for watching Fayetteville Public Utilities Channel 6. I'm Sarah Mack-Young, and in our studio today, as our guest, we have Miss Amy Satterfield with us. It's good to see you, Amy.
Hey Sarah, it's good to see you again.
It's always great to have you in our studio, and today we're going to be talking about a little bit about Women of the Way. But before we get started talking about Women of the Way, I'd love for you to introduce yourself to our viewers at home and tell them a little bit about yourself.
Okay, well, first of all, I'd like to say thanks again for letting me come and share on Channel 6. It's always an honor and a privilege, and I appreciate y'all allowing me the opportunity. So it's just great to be here again. My name is Amy Satterfield. I live in Flintville, and I'm a speech therapist at Flintville School, so I'm excited that that's what we do during the day. But for the past 9 years, we have been doing Women of the Way, and I can't believe that this is our 9th series. We started Women of the Way about 9 or 10 years ago, and it was a way to get women together from different kinds of churches. I had this idea that, what if women got together and we did a Bible study and we just got to know each other, and I reached out to a few women in the community at different churches, and they said yes, they were willing to try, so we went for it, and 9 years later, here we are, and we're still plugging away at it. Each and every year we get together, I just am amazed that, okay, we're doing this again, and it's just become a part of the community, and I'm just so excited we get to share about Women of the Way 2020.
All right, 2020, 9 years. I was going to say, I can't believe it's been 9 years, but that's right. That is right. Let's talk about Women of the Way. We usually do this in the spring, and it's usually around Easter. It's kind of and sometimes it's after Easter. It just depends on how it falls.
Yeah.
But a lot of times it's leading up to Easter, and we're always discussing something different every year.
Yes. Women of the Way, the 3 things that I hope that we do is, number 1, we get women together to encourage each other, because women need other women, and we need those relationships. The second thing I hope that we do is we encourage each other to be passionate, devoted followers of Christ. We want to stir each other up and encourage each other. And then finally, I hope that when we get together as Women of the Way, that we are united by who unites us rather than what divides us. We have all different kind of church denominations coming together, and we focus on Christ and becoming followers of Christ and getting to know each other, and not focusing on things that we believe differently or the way that we worship differently. We just focused on becoming better believers and better followers of Jesus. So that's my hope that we accomplish once we get all together. And we, like I said, have been doing that for 9 years. And this year we've got a whole brand new theme. Each year we have a theme, and we study different women from the Bible. And we have been doing this enough that we have about worked our way through just about every woman that we can think of.
All right.
And so this year, it's like, what can we do for a great theme? And it never fails. Every year I think, oh, this is my favorite. And this year's theme is going to be the same, that I'm excited about it. Our theme is called Nameless Women Changed by Christ.
All right, Nameless Women Changed by Christ.
Nameless women. There are all kinds of women, and there are men too, but we focus on the women. All kinds of women throughout the Bible. Their name is not listed. We don't know who they are. They'll just say the woman who did this or the woman who did this. And so when you really get to studying and looking at all those different women, there's still powerful stories that can impact us, even though we don't know their name. And so looking at all the women through the Bible without names, so then we narrowed it down, because there's just too many for us to go over in 4 weeks. So we narrowed it down, and I wanted to focus on the nameless women who were changed by Christ. They had direct access, a direct encounter or experience with Jesus. And how did that change them? How did that affect them? And then how can we take and apply those same ideas to our own life? So that's our theme this year, Nameless Women Changed by Christ. And it's going to be some familiar passages from some familiar stories, but hopefully they'll have like a fresh look into them. And I'm excited. Can I go ahead and tell you all what we got? Okay, yeah, it's going to be, we're starting on March the 9th. You had mentioned that it's usually before Easter or after Easter. This year we're starting up in March. It's going to be the Mondays all in March, starting with March the 9th. And we're going to be at Bethlehem Baptist Church. Now, for the past 9 years, we've been meeting centrally located here in Fayetteville, around the square mostly, a few churches right off the square. But this year, we've got the opportunity to go to Bethlehem Baptist. And that's right across the state line, north of Hazel Green and right below the Tennessee-Alabama state line. And I'm so excited that they offered to host. It's not a small thing to ask a church to host, because it usually has to be big enough, for a crowd of our size, and we offer refreshments and seating and tables and things like that. So for a church to offer to host is a huge honor and privilege for me. So I really appreciate Bethlehem Baptist reaching out, and this is their first year. So I hope all the Lincoln County gals can get together and travel across the state line and come see us at Bethlehem Baptist. But we're starting March the 9th, and I'll be sharing that night at Bethlehem, and I'm going to be talking about the woman who was sinful but loved much. It's a very familiar story, the woman who brought the alabaster box and she poured it over Jesus' feet. So that's the story that I'm going to be focusing on. Then on March the 16th, we're going to be back in Fayetteville. We're going to be at the First Presbyterian Church, and Angela Knott is going to be sharing, and she's going to be sharing about the woman who was loosed. So the story about the woman who was bent over for many, many years, and Jesus loosed her and she straightened up. So Angela is sharing about that one. On March the 23rd, Betsy Spencer, she's from Bethlehem Baptist. She's going to be sharing, but for March the 23rd, we're going to be at Washington Street Church of Christ, and Betsy's going to be sharing about the woman with the issue of blood. So that's a great story. And then on March the 30th, we're going to be rounding it out, ending up at the Fayetteville First United Methodist Church. We've been there many, many times. All of these churches, we've been there many times. But on March the 30th, we're going to be hearing from Jackie Wright, and she is going to be sharing about the woman at the well. So lots of familiar stories. All these women, we don't know their names, but they have dramatic experiences of being changed by Jesus. And then we're going to look and study and discuss and see how we can apply that to our own lives, how we can be changed by Jesus.
It's a great night. It starts off, what time does it start? I know there's light refreshments at the first.
Yes. Registration begins at 5:30, so you can come anytime between 5:30 and 6. Light refreshments, fellowship, talking, getting to know each other, because women love to get together and talk. Yeah. And then we begin at 6. We have it's not a long evening. We try to keep it simple yet effective. So we start at 6. We hear from some people that are involved in community organizations and community ministries, and we'll talk about that in a minute. And we donate to those ministries that we're hearing about. The events are all free, but we do try to collect donations for the ministries that we're focusing on for those weeks. And then about 6:15 or so, we have someone sharing some music, so we get a beautiful ministry by song and those kinds of things. And then we have our presentation on our study, and then we wrap up. So usually we're finished around 7:15, 7:30, something like that. It's always a beautiful evening. It's always a beautiful time to get together. And almost always we get started and we're so excited, and then by the time it's finished, we're like, I can't believe it's over already.
Right.
So it goes by really fast. And if somebody can't come all 4 weeks, it's completely okay. Each session kind of stands on its own. So if you miss one, you're not going to really miss out on the other.
Right.
But it's always wonderful if you're able to come as many times as possible, just to get all the fellowship and all the unity and all the great things that go along with it.
Absolutely. So something else that was really interesting that you touched on is that there is an initiative. Every time there's a different, everybody has a different one, or it's been in the past. Now this year, are we doing just one initiative, or are we going to do several different ones, and you're going to hear about several different ones?
Yes. Usually in the past, we highlight a different community outreach or ministry in the community, a different one each week. This year we're doing something slightly different. So there is a group of churches in the Lincoln County community called the Lincoln County Faith-Based Initiatives. And that is a group of churches doing several things to minister to the community. So we're going to focus on that one ministry organization and break it up into 4 weeks. And we're going to be donating each week, and it's all going to go to the Lincoln County Faith-Based Initiatives. And the way that we're breaking it up, we're going to talk about several different aspects of it throughout the 4 weeks. The first week, on March the 9th, we're just going to have an overview. And one of the main things that the Lincoln County Faith-Based Initiatives do is they go into the jail, the Lincoln County Jail, and they do Bible studies and teach the people that are there. And so we've got different pastors and different teachers that go in and teach Scripture. They teach Bible. They probably teach ways to come to become a believer, to become a Christian, different things like that, to help them in those kind of spiritual areas of their life. So they do that while people are in jail. And then the next week, we're going to be talking about Celebrate Recovery. And Celebrate Recovery is kind of a separate entity, but it's still under the umbrella of these initiatives of trying to help people. Now, Celebrate Recovery isn't just for people that have been incarcerated or out of being incarcerated, but it's for anyone with addiction issues, with relationship issues, with just wanting to improve your mental health, your spiritual health, your emotional health. And I mean, lots of people, most all of us would need something that would help us, in those kinds of areas. And so Celebrate Recovery is a part of the faith-based initiatives to kind of help with that. So we're going to be learning about that the second week. The third week, we're going to be talking about the clothing closet that is associated with this faith-based initiatives. And what I have been learning, because I'm learning about this as we're preparing for Women of the Way, the people that are let out of jail, a lot of times they go in with just what they're wearing, what they have in their hands at the moment. So when they're let out, they get back what they were exactly wearing, and that's all that they have. And they get let out back onto the street, and if they have nowhere to go, it's just what they have on, it's what in their pockets that they're in possession of. And so the Faith-Based Initiative is working with Clothe Our Kids to provide a clothing closet for adults so that they can get what they need. Also, maybe if someone is getting some educational skills and they're ready for job interviews and they're ready, to try to do things professionally and they might not have appropriate clothes to wear, the clothing closet can help them get what they need in order to land that job and then do the things that they need to do, to help improve their lives. So we're going to be hearing about how we can donate to the clothing closet, and specifically that night, we're going to be gathering new women's undergarments. Now, sometimes we collect money for different organizations, and then sometimes we collect specific items. So all the first, third, and fourth weeks, we're going to be collecting money. But this 1/3 week is the only time that we're going to be collecting specific items, which is the new undergarments for women. And so that's exciting because people donate lots of clothes, but
you can't really donate that. Yeah, you need to go buy new.
Yes, so that's what we're going to be collecting for that specific week. And then the fourth week for the faith-based initiatives, they're going to be talking about their future plans. This is something that these churches have been working on for about 4 years, but I hadn't really heard about it a whole lot until I talked with Ann Hatcher. And I think it's been like this slow build, this slow cooperative, this slow working together, and they're building momentum, they're building traction, and so they want to talk about their future plans and what they hope to accomplish. And one of the reasons that I wanted to support the faith-based initiatives through Women of the Way is there are already 5 or 6 churches, interdenominational churches, that are already working together on this. So it already fits kind of the theme and the purpose of Women of the Way. Just the few that are already involved is the Fayetteville First United Methodist Church, First Baptist Church, First Presbyterian, Hope Assembly, The Rock, and Grace Family Worship Center. So already these other churches are coming together to work in these different areas to help people in jail, to help people trying to help themselves, people in recovery, all kinds of great things. And so I'm excited that we get to help and support them and bring awareness to it this year.
Absolutely. So it's a great way for folks to come out and learn and grow more in their faith, but it's also a great way for them to get involved with our community, to learn more about what's going on here in our community, and to help that growth continue. It is a program that is really changing lives from what I've heard and understand as well.
Yes.
And so it's an opportunity for you to get in on that too, and to try to help change some lives here in Lincoln County, in Fayetteville and Lincoln County.
Yes, it would be great if, through hearing about it at Women of the Way, then other churches participated and other churches got involved, and it just kept growing and growing and growing. That would be amazing.
Absolutely. So we encourage folks to come out. We're going to start on March the 9th at Bethlehem Baptist Church. As Amy said, it's just a little bit across the state line. It's not far. It's really not far. I kind of think in some ways it's almost right there on the Alabama-Tennessee line, really.
Oh, yes. Mm-hmm.
But it's not far. And then also, if you can't make that one, don't worry. Come to the next one. Mm-hmm. They kind of stand alone, but you don't want to miss that fellowship and that friendship that you're going to gain from coming each time. But also, you're going to get a great message. Every time.
Yes, it's going to be beautiful. One of the things that I love through the years we've been doing this together is people will say, oh, we met at Women of the Way. Oh, where did I see you from? Oh, we met at Women of the Way. And it's so exciting to see that people are building friendships, they're making connections, they're getting to know each other. We've said before, every Sunday we go to our own church and we worship. And we do that for, personal reasons, which is great. But you might not get to know other people because we're each in our own little churches. We might not get to meet or know people that we might not have the opportunity to get to know and meet. So come into Women of the Way and you meet people that go to different churches, you meet people from different walks of life and different things like that. So then we get together, we get to know each other, and we're just building unity, we're building fellowship, networking, and just building each other up. And it's really beautiful to see. One of my absolute favorite things, this is my favorite thing that happens every single year. So we get to the end of the session and we all stand up together and we hold hands and we pray the Lord's Prayer together. Because when we started, we thought, what's the one thing that everybody knows? What's the one thing that almost every church we know what to do? And it's the Lord's Prayer. And so to see all the women hold hands and unite together and their voices rise up and we say the Lord's Prayer together, it is powerful, it is humbling, it's beautiful, and it's my absolute favorite thing that happens every single year. I love it.
Absolutely. Now, Amy, let's talk about where folks can find out more information
about
Women of the Way. There's websites, there's also Facebook, and Amy does some Facebook Lives for sure to kind of give you some upcoming information and let you know what's going on in the world of Women of the Way.
Yes, thank you for reminding me. I've got a Facebook page. It's called Women of the Way TN. Have to have that TN on there. Women of the Way TN, and I try to post all the details and encourage people to come. There's an event page on Women of the Way, so if you go to Women of the Way TN and you can find the event, so all the last minute details, all the things coming up. I'll share about the speakers and share about the ministries and the music and all that kind of stuff. Also, I have a website called, it's www.womenofthewaytn.com. So there's all kinds of information there. And then feel free to email me. My email address is womenofthewaytn@gmail.com. So I'd love to hear any questions, anything that you have. I'd love to hear from you and just share. And also when you go to the Facebook and the website and all that kind of stuff, the flyers that I've created for each week, you can download those and you can share those. One of the best ways that this has grown over the last 9 years is that people spread word of mouth. They'll say, did you go to Women of the Way? Did you know about it? And they'll say, no, come, it's wonderful. So yeah, it really is a great time. And so I just encourage people to download the flyers and share on Facebook and all that kind of stuff and share it with your church and your friends and invite people to come.
Absolutely. Grab a couple of your friends from church and come on out.
Yeah.
You definitely won't be disappointed and you'll get a great message, and it's a great way to help folks in our own community.
Mm-hmm.
Well, Amy, thank you for coming into the studio today to talk a little bit about Women of the Way and let folks know about when it's going to be, but also just to give them some information as well about the program and what all you're doing.
Yeah, I hope to see everybody out. I think it's going to be a really great time this year.
Absolutely. We thank you, our viewers, for watching FPU's Channel 6, and we'll see you back in here next time.